fully healed or anything. Oh child, I almost fell down. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be talking all about industrial piercings. I'm going to be talking about the pros, the cons, some tips that I could give you guys, my personal experiences, and I also have footage. So with all of that being said, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and let me know down in the comments below, are you getting industrial piercings? Are you thinking about it? Like, what's tea? Let me know. So with that said, let's hop right into the video. The first thing I want to touch on when it comes to the industrial piercing are pros and cons, and the first one that I'm going to start out with is cons. So I wrote down some notes for you guys, and the first con that I have on my list is it gets caught in everything. If you are not mentally prepared to adjust some small things in your life because of this piercing, then I would suggest don't get it. There are just certain small changes, small adjustments that you have to make in your life when getting this piercing. Like, there's certain things that you have to take into account. The way that you put on your clothes, the way you take off your clothes, the way you wire your headphones, the way you take a shower, the way you do your natural hair. There are just certain small adjustments that you have to make in order to make sure that you don't mess with your piercing. So I have to say that a con with this piercing is definitely that it gets caught in everything. Even when you think that it wouldn't, 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, it's probably gonna get caught. Like, it could be the smallest little thing and you're like, yeah, it's not gonna get caught. Boom, it gets caught. Like, just don't take the risk and just be really careful of how you used to do things. Understand that you can't do the things that you used to do the way that you do with these piercings, and some of those things are definitely like how we wear a mask. I know for me, when I got my piercing, it was hell at first, and in some way it still is, because when I wear a mask, it really does still hurt. Like, it still hurt, and I've gotten my piercing about a year and some change ago. So you just have to be really careful, really gentle, and really cautious when it comes to the side of the piercing, because it does get caught on everything. The second con that I have on my list is some say this is the most painful piercing. Okay, so when I was researching to get my industrial piercing, there were a lot of mixed reviews. There were people who were like, it didn't hurt. There were people who were like, it did hurt. And then there were people who were like, the people who said that it didn't hurt are liars. And it was just a lot of mixed reviews. So as a person who have a high pain tolerance and wanted to get this piercing, I was listening to the people who already had it and who had a high pain tolerance, and a lot of them were like, yeah, it didn't hurt. But after, you just have to find a category that you fit in. Like, if you know you want this piercing and you don't have a high pain tolerance, you have to listen to the audience who fit that category. So that's the best thing that I would say to do if you're having that problem. But some people say that it's a very painful piercing. It just depends on who you are, to me. The third pro that I have on my list is it is easy to change. So when I first got into the piercing, I thought that both the ball at the end, you have to screw both of them together, but that's not the case. One ball is actually built into the line, and then the other one you just unscrew and then you can take it out. So I think it's super duper easy to change, and that's also, you know, easy to clean as well. Like, that's another pro. The fourth pro would be like, it's like super easy to clean. Like, you just take it out, you can clean your air, sterilize the industrial bar, and then you could just put it back in. So it is easy upon healing. Like, after you heal, it's just like, yeah, I could like move it up and down, I could take it out, clean it. So there is some ease to this piercing after the healing process. Another thing that I also wanted to talk about was the first con that I gave to you guys, which was just be careful of the piercing and be gentle because it gets caught on everything. A little backstory. So before I got AirPods, I used to have like the wire headphones, and one day I had put the headphones over my ear. Like, give me a minute. So at the time, I used to have these. I used to have a pair of these, still do, had to get me a new one. And I remember one time after getting the piercing, very fresh by the way, I ended up putting the headphones over my ear like so, and I had the other one in. It's so funny. And then I went to go pick something up, and what ended up happening was this part got hooked, and because I got up so fast, it ended up pulling my piercing down, and I was bleeding like crazy. When I mean crazy, because the piercing was still fresh. And that's why I say just be careful of how you're maneuvering after you get the piercing, because I didn't think something like that would happen, but it did. So please just be careful with yourself after the piercing. You don't want to end up doing something like that and you really hurt yourself. So just be careful, guys. So onto my experiences with the piercing. So I got my piercing on August 10th of 2020. That was on a Monday. And honestly, for me personally, the piercing did not hurt. It did not hurt. Now, just because it didn't hurt for me doesn't mean that it won't hurt for you. So just take that with like a grain of salt. Like, don't think that it's not gonna hurt, because I only know my pain tolerance. I don't know anybody else's, but mine's definitely did not hurt. Like, I will have the footage of me like taking it. Like, I was just sitting there with a straight face. Like, I was very nervous because I'm like, oh my God, I'm really doing this. But to me, it didn't hurt.
That looks good for you.
You're done. You're done. You know
It's
that.
done?
Yes.
What?
That's it.
No way.
Yes, sweet. You good?
Yeah,
Nothing, right?
I thought I was gonna holler. I really thought I was gonna holler.
No, I'm telling you. Like, I would have fainted right now.
Really?
Yes.
It looks good.
Is it bleeding?
Not at all. Not at all.
The second thing is I did not bleed. Like, there was no blood at all. So like when he pierced it, he was like, yeah, that went in good because there's no blood happened, didn't see nothing. I thought that once he like got me, I thought I was about to be gushing blood. They would have to cut my ear off. Like, I was just being like real paranoid, but there was no blood. And also the third thing that I would like to mention in my experience is that my anxiety was across the boards. Like, I was literally shaking. Like, I kid you not. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it in the video, but I was literally shaking because I was so nervous, because I couldn't believe that I was getting this. Because the year prior to getting the piercing, I actually was talking to somebody who had one at my job, and I was like, oh, you got that piercing, how long you had the piercing or whatever. And at the time, 2019, I was like, oh, I really want that piercing. So to fast forward to actually being in the chair and getting it made me really nervous. Like, I was literally shaking because I couldn't believe that I was actually going to go do it. Also, with my experience, another thing that I really just had a difficult time with is sleeping. Like, you can't sleep on the side that you got your piercing on, which is not a problem for me on my right side. But sometimes I notice that when I am sleeping, or when I'm getting ready to sleep, when I'm on the left side and I get tired of the left side, I'd be like, but then I realized that I can't, like, because you have a piercing on that side, and again, you're in the healing process. You just can't do things like that. I don't know what it's like to do it after the healing process, because let's just say I was a little careless in the healing process, and that's how I know. But moving on. So now I'm going to be talking about some of the tips that I have for you guys, and my first tip is to talk to your piercer. Talk to your piercer. He's going to be putting a hold on your body part. Talk to him or her. Like, please, you need to be able to talk to him or her about what you're not supposed to do, eat, just how do you prepare for this process in general, and then how do you prepare for the process after in general. And be mindful that your piercer just needs to be experienced. He needs to be professional, and you need to be aware of how you feel with the piercer in terms of how do you feel, like how comfortable do you feel being around this person, how comfortable do you feel with this person putting a hole in your body. Also, just get the information that you need from your piercer. You need somebody to be professional. You need somebody to understand the field that they're working in, and that they're not going to harm you. So just keep that in mind. The second tip that I have is do not get the piercing on the side that you sleep on. So I just kind of mentioned something like that. I don't care which side that I sleep on. So for me, it didn't matter which side I got the piercing on. I actually based mine off of like which side I want it on, like which part of my face. Like I'm not gonna say that I like, but I like to have my hair either in a middle part or a side part, and I always just want to, you know, tuck it in the back. So I based my like whole side of me picking this piercing based on me just putting my hair back and just having my piercing like that. So if you know that you sleep on your right side, don't get the piercing on your right side. If you know that you sleep on your left side, don't get the piercing on your left side, because you're gonna sleep on it and that's gonna cause more damage to your piercing. So don't do that. Pick the side that you don't sleep on. My third tip is to always make sure that your hands are clean before touching your piercing. And you know what, I'm gonna add also before and after. Just don't be touching your hands all up on your piercing knowing that you ain't wash your hands. Wash your hands before you clean it, after you clean it. Just make sure that hands are clean, because you don't want to infect your piercing. You don't want to do anything that will cause any harm to the piercing. Just wash your filthy hands. The fourth tip is to keep cost in mind. I would say to just compare prices. Like if you have a piercer in mind or piercers in mind, just compare the prices and find out what works for you. I know some people charge up to 30 to 90 to maybe in 100 for the piercing. It could be different for where you live. It could be different for the person that you're talking to. Just make sure that you take costs into mind. The fifth tip is if anything goes wrong, call your piercer. So little backstory, when I first got my piercing, I had a little problem and I didn't know like what to do. So he ended up telling me to just come in, and we spoke a little bit. He looked at it and he ended up solving the problem for me. So anything that goes wrong, I would suggest stop going on WebMD or piercerbabe.com or wherever it is that you're going to self-diagnose your piercing, and just go to the person who did it, go to the professional who did it. We just gotta stop self-diagnosing ourselves and just go into professionals and making sure that what's going on is correct. Because if you get the information off of a site, if you just assume, if you self-diagnose, you're going to end up treating it based on what you read or what somebody else told you, and you just might cause the piercing to be in a much difficult place than it was to begin with. So just call. He put a hole in your body, she put a hole in your body, you paid, so just call. They're not gonna say no, so no harm in just getting some help. Now onto the aftercare portion of this video. This is something that I would suggest that you talk to your piercer about, but I know that these are some common things that people use in their aftercare and healing process. And the first one is salt water, second one is saline, third applying tea tree oil, and the fourth one is dal soap foam. So for me, how I actually cleaned mine was my friend put me onto some dal foaming soap, and I ended up taking that with a Q-tip. And what I did was I cleaned here with the Q-tip, clean here, cleaned in the back, cleaned in the back, and I would spray some saline on a cotton pad or like some salt water, and then I would just go over all of it in the back and the front. And when I got a little bit comfortable to take my piercing out after some time, after like a year, I ended up taking it out, cleaning my actual ear first, sterilizing the bar itself, and yeah. So, you know, people have their different ways of doing it, and then after I did that whole process, I would just apply some tea tree oil on any of the keloids or bumps that I had, and then yeah. So that's how the aftercare process went for me. It could be different, but I know I didn't want to spend a lot of like money on like the piercing shop's aftercare products, because I did end up purchasing one and the price was just, it was through the roof. I don't remember what it was, but it was through the roof for that little small tiny bottle that don't last. So I ended up just going to get one particular thing and just working with that, and it works well for me. So you just have to find out what works for you, and just working with your piercer during the aftercare. The next thing that I want to add in is just a close-up of my piercing itself, and oh my god, y'all, I love it. I'm not like fully healed or anything. Oh child, I almost fell down. I'm not like fully healed or anything like that, but I can still like move it up and down. I believe I do have a keloid in the back, or like a bump in the back here. But other than that, I love my piercing. The only thing that I can't do right now is like take it out, because like to put it back in, it's like I just got the piercing all over again. So I don't take mine out. When it comes to sleeping, if I end up turning in my sleep and I woke up on the side of my piercing, it still hurts. So I do still believe that I'm in the healing process of this piercing. So I am gonna get back on it. I'm gonna apply more tea tree oil. I'm gonna start cleaning it on a regular. So, you know, that's where I'm at with it. I really, really love this piercing. If you're thinking about getting it, girl, boy, whatever you identify, go get it. It's just so cute. I just really love how I get to tuck my hair back and it's just right there. I don't know, like it's just giving it, it's just giving what it's supposed to give, y'all. Like, look at that. Oh my gosh. But with that said, guys, that is the ending of this video. I hope you guys really, really enjoyed this video. And with all of that said, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, because guess what? It is free. Unlike the piercing, it is free to hit that subscribe button. And also let me know down in the comments if you're thinking about getting this piercing, if you want to get this piercing, are you convinced after this video to get this piercing? Like, let me know what's tea down in the comments below. And with that said, I will catch you guys in the next one.